Very, very keen about the 7 here, Corborn Matty at the odds, $9 fixed. I see they just trimmed him up to $8. I think that's still very good value for Corborn Matty. This is a dog who won a Derby heat and ran second in the Derby final, obviously, and can put the line through that run in the wet on Monday at Manawa 2. This greyhound's won in 1735 here. He's also won in 1743. Now, he's won 5 from 7 sprints here, admittedly none above Class 3, but when he went to Auckland and sprinted up there, he won in 1832 and 1833, so he's a very, very fast dog, Corborn Matty, and certainly capable of winning at odds. Some of Rugs, $1.70 over 10.5. And I ended up with 10, with 7, 2 and 1. You'd think the inside 2 can make the day, surely. There's the 6 Weepu in shot. Dog number 2, Allegro Chaser, surprisingly for me, run down. It was What's Up G, though, in a 1738 last start. But she's clearly good enough to win. 1740, her best time. One from box 6, 4 back, then they used the 1, 3 back. And Alpaca, well, she just keeps doing the job, and although she's not the quickest off the lids, she has used box 1 really effectively in the past, and she's on the back of a string of placings here. She won from box 6, 6 back, when she actually jumped in front and clocked that 1731. So I thought 7, 2 and 1 stood out, and there's a look at Winning Is Easy. Actually left him out of the 4 tonight and put Boston Blaze in ahead. Could just as easily have gone for Winning Is Easy. Remarkably now for her, it's 7 starts without a win, and she's actually been quite disappointing of late. Even the second to Weepu, where Weepu just swept on by, and then last week, just on the face of it, looked a pretty moderate performance by her high standards in behind YOY. However, I was going to say she was trimmed up, but she went from 5 to 4.80, but now she's out to $5.50. Winning Is Easy. First jump out of box 4 tonight. Of course, she's had that predominance of box 1's 12 from 22. We know she's got the ability, but she just hasn't been as sharp in the last couple, well, probably going back since the railway now, up there in Auckland. Super Zip Zip was in shot there briefly. The 8 was a winner in Class 4 Company 2 back, beating Serena Rose. Just not sure about her getting across the mall here from box number 8. Hasn't been a kind draw to her. There's Alpaca. And Matilda's Babe just in behind. Might be the only one I haven't talked about. Matilda's Babe, she was a winner 3 back in Class 4. She's on the verge of a downgrade, and look, that'd be good for her. She's over 4 these days, and it's a bit tough for her up in this sort of company. And Boston Blaze, I didn't suppose I really talked about him much, but he hasn't actually won since early September, which is surprising. He's had 15 starts in that time. He has picked up 8 minor placings. He is fast when he's on his game. And his last start, he ran second to YOY last Friday in a race where Winning Is Easy finished 4th. So Boston Blaze has to be accorded some sort of trifecta and at first 4 chance. Alpaca $2.80 on the tote, and now out to $3.20 with the book. 30 seconds from start time. It's the first leg of the last treble here tonight. Dog Zone on Monday at 6:30. Elizabeth Whelan hosting, and I'll be in the chair for one final time before Peter Early returns, and we'll be checking out the New Zealand Oaks Robbie's Bar and Bistro sponsored $30,000 Group 1 final coming up next Thursday at Addington Raceway. 3 heats last night. If you didn't see those, or even if you did, we'll be analysing those on Monday, among other things, on Dog Zone at 6:30. To the traps. Race 10, the Waganui Security, Class 5s going forward. Alpaca off the inside, Boston Blaze in the white, Matilda's Babe the gold, and Corborn Matty in the black. Forward they go. Second line, Allegro Chaser, Winning Is Easy, Weepu, and Super Zip Zip the outside. Alpaca at $3, the favourite off the inner. And we're set for race number 10. Red light goes to green. Rayudi rolls the lure, and we're set. Racing, Alpaca a fair break, but Allegro Chaser goes straight to the lead and winning is easy, gets right on its quarters too. Alpaca punches into third. They'll be followed through then by Weepu up and around the outside. Trying to get a run through along the inside here would have been Boston Blaze. Corbel Maddie's got back with Super Zip around the corner they come. Alpaca has rounded up Allegro Chaser. Allegro Chaser. Then tight for third, probably Weepu over Corbel Maddie, but it was tight. And they'd be followed then. Ooh, bit of trouble there after the line. Back in the pack then we had Boston Blaze with the winning is easy. Super Zip was well back when they crossed with Matilda's Babe. Allegro Chaser took a bit of a tumble after the lure there, but after the line I should say, getting to the lure. So Alpaca makes use of box one again, whose stats are very handy from there. Beaten for speed early by Allegro Chaser, but she just hunted hard. The rail stayed underneath. Winning is easy, who's not really a shadow of what she was. Winning is easy at the moment, and she's just drifted out of it here. And then the battle for third between Weepu and Corborn Matty. 1 beats 2. 6 the outside will be third ahead of Corborn Matty. That's on the board, and 17.46 is the clock with a lead up of 6.90, and the winning margin was 1 length, 1.5 lengths. And ahead, as we watch the head-on, Allegro Chaser with the early speed, along with Winning is Easy. Alpaca stalking them. Corborn Matty got back, tried to cut towards the rail, made up some ground late in the piece with Weepu ahead of him. 10.56 that run home. You might have worked that out for yourself. Alpaca, a black bitch by Premier Fantasy out of Trendy Habit. Lisa Ahern and Craig Rendell. They've had a couple of wins tonight. Lisa overall, I think, has had 3. Indeed she has. Measures up with Matt Roberts now. And Sam Lozelle, the birthday boy, leads back another winner. Wins 16 at start 58, and she's 5 from 8 now from box number 1. Elizabeth, that'll keep you happy. Race number 10, and we'll look forward to race number 11, Class 4 sprinters this time at 9:09.
Thanks very much for that, Mark. Yeah, she's one of my favourites, Alpaca. I think she knows when she wins, because you see her come back at the head of the field. She's always got her tail wagging when she's coming back in front. She knows. Has beaten Allegro Chaser and 6 of Weepu. 1, 2, 6 there in race at 10. Up next, we're at Cranbourne. We've got the night gallops from there tonight. Meeting code 19, race 1. Number 7, Vinmeister, the favourite. 135, 108 fixed, 140, 130 on the tote. Finished second when Fresh Up last start and did trial okay here at Cranbourne prior to that. Terry Bailey's gone 7 to beat 8, 4 and 6. That's joined the team on track.
Debut last time they went back, so I wouldn't expect they'd want to be too far away around this tight track.
Okay, if you've just tuned in to our coverage, heavy rain falling in Melbourne later this afternoon, but not quite as bad here at Cranbourne. Only 2 mils falling over the past couple of hours, not affecting track conditions at all. It remains a good 4. The warning I got from the stewards, though, before the first race tonight was that we can expect some pretty heavy-duty weather to sweep through here later tonight.
Indeed, I'm just having a look at the all informative bureau, because you know they've had a really awful 6 months. The bureau, I'm not going to lie to you, they've really struggled in both states, Sydney, Melbourne. But just looking at the radar now, there looks to be some rain headed our way, but I've seen it more sinister, so we'll see how we go.
Okay, well, it's a perfect night right now as we say good evening to Terry Bailey in the broadcast box.
Thanks, Joe and Gator, and welcome along to you both as we get set for the running of the first. Last meeting with the rail true, it was certainly an advantage to be near the fence and on the speed. Interesting to see how it plays with that rail 1,000 metres to the winning post out 3 metres. Vinmeister runs the favourite, $1.40, $1.35 on track, and he should race clearly in the first 3 here in the small field. He got too far back the other day. They backed him off the map at Kyneton on Cup Day, and he was in the slow lane as it turned out. Fence was right off that day. And this is a suitable race. Rubenstein's always had ability, and Gift of Music, an old trial, in with a chance. Just about set. On Your Way moves up. Waiting on Gamora to get set. Miss Kitty to move in. Vinmeister for Michael Walker. And Gift of Music for Lisa Whelan. So they're nearly ready for the first race of 8 here this evening at Cranbourne. That rain has abated. It's just been a bit of a drizzle from about, I'd say about 2:30 on. And we're nearly set for race number 1. And thank you, Mike. Welcome to you and your audience. First race of the evening. Track a good 4 for the card. That rain abated. Hasn't been overly heavy, but we're informed that there is a bit more on the way later on, possibly. So Vinmeister $1.40. This is his race to lose, really. $1.40 into $1.30 on track. Vinmeister, very, very short price favourite. I think the best pre-scratchings was $1.65 less deductions. After scratchings, $1.55 best price. $1.30 on track, and on the tote $1.40. Number 8 is Rubenstein at $8.50 on track at $7.50. But there's only one they want, Vinmeister. Michael Walker rides here for the price Bloodstock and Rob Smurden. Tab.com.au handicap, they're off. And Vinmeister jumped away fairly well. Walker quite happy to grab hold and let the others go. He'll settle third last. On your way, slow out. And Battistona wide out on the track away quickly, but going smartly to join it, Miss Kitty, and it'll drive to the front. Rubenstein third, going up then is Vinmeister, and wider out is Gift of Music. On your way after that, Tardy Getaway is second last, and Gamora at the rear. 5 lengths covers the field. Miss Kitty off the back, ears up in the air, leading by 1 length on Battistona. Wider out on the track, moving up quickly now is Gift of Music. On the fence, Rubenstein. Then came Vinmeister, just looking for galloping room in between. He comes to the outside 4 deep now, Walker. He rides pretty confidently on the home corner, but Miss Kitty straightens up in front by a length on Battistona. Rubenstein the fence. Vinmeister popped the question. Is coming out after the front runners. He's moved up. He's on level terms. Rubenstein's coming through in the centre, but Vinmeister's got the upper hand. He draws away for victory. Vinmeister in front of Rubenstein. Vinmeister too good. Beat Rubenstein a length and a half. Third, Miss Kitty, and Gamora late. Then came Gift of Music. On your way, the slow start didn't help, but he ran second last, and Battistona, close, ran last.
Vinmeister wallops them here. Gator in the opening race tonight, sat midfield, had a perfect run and just went whoosh halfway down the straight.
Yeah, it was certainly a confident ride, wasn't it? I don't think you were ever had too many heart palpitations through the run. If you were on, Vinmeister looked to travel really well on the home turn, peeled to the outside. Look, Mick didn't have a trail into the race, Mick Walker, but he didn't to mine. I think he knew he was on the best horse. And what he produced was a really good finale, I thought, and he put his maiden away in strong style. He's beaten one with really good exposed form, albeit as a younger horse in Rubenstein, so I think there's merit in that run of the winner, based on Rubenstein.
Favourite's been too good there, number 7, Vinmeister. The 3-year-old gelding by Elusive City out of a Dana Singer, Mia Shanna Singer, win one at start number 3 today there. And the first at the Cranbourne Night Gallop. Second there gets underway at 9:15. Right now we're back at Alexandra Park for the Group 1 Waste Management Taylor Mile. Here's a look at the market. We've got a $3.80 fixed odds favourite, Border Control, who's come in a touch. Sky Major and $4.40 and $1.60. Greg O'Connor, as we come back to your wonderful field that we've got assembled here for the Taylor Mile.
Yeah, reflected by the tote it is too, Liz. A $3.80 favourite, but $4.40 Sky Major, $4 Dalton Bromack. There's been significant money for him, clearly, and $5.50 a Hoka Punter, who was third, of course, in the Auckland Cup only a few starts ago. Massini heads it up, 11s and 350, 970 and 280. Of course, he won on New Zealand Cup Day, Craig Thompson, in New Zealand record time. He's these days trained by Brent Lilly, and Dexter Dunn takes the reins. Of course, he's won this race before with the mighty pacer Chris and Me.
Absolutely. Barrier 1's a huge advantage to him. There are school of thought on track tonight that he'll be good enough to get at least a trail. I'm not convinced of that, Greg, because he's good off the gate, but he's not brilliant off the gate, and there's a few real flyers here. So the barrier draw is going to aid his chances. I think he's a first 4 chance. I think he's better suited to 2,700 next week.
Result there of the first from Cranbourne. We're looking at our current favourite, which is the 4 Border Control. He's still the fastest pacer in New Zealand. He went 150.6, of course, when winning the Harness Jewels, beating a Hoka Punter and one other horse of Crandell Geddes, which finished second.
Bit of a legend?
Yeah, a bit of a legend, yes. 150.6, so clearly the race distance will suit him. In saying that, he finished second last time over 2 miles, and that was behind Chris and Me in the Easter Cup. He's won over $500,000. Many expect him to find the front here, Craig, but he certainly won't be first there, as the likes of Mosdale Connor and to his outsider Sire and Sky Major even potentially, they'll be humming early.
They'll be humming early. His form this time has been impeccable. His run in the Auckland Cup was great. Since then, he's run 2 very good seconds, including the Easter Cup placing behind Chris and Me. And in that Easter Cup, he beat home Terra to Love. And at the line, Greg, he was coming back at Chris and Me, probably in career best form, back to his 3-year-old days. I like him. I can see him winning. I've got him in my top 3.
The only concern I have with him is, whilst it might be stretching it a wee way to say that he's a non-winner these days, He's not winning out of turn.
He hasn't won in his last 12 starts. That's what we're saying, Greg. But in saying that, that is against the elite level. That is the Adore Me's, the Terrata Loves, and the Chris and Me's. Not many of them beat those horses home. I think he's been comparable to them.
Yes, he certainly has. Second favourite is the 6 Sky Major. Now, he's a brilliant racehorse, as we know. He's won the Jewels on 2 occasions. He's won the 13 from 36 and over $600,000. He's fresh up tonight from winning the Chariots in really good fashion. Of course, beating a sire amongst others on that occasion. Tonight he's drawn awkwardly, but I've got a theory here. There might be that much speed that horses like Sky Major and a Hoka Punter, if they get in the right trail into the race with that sort of speed on, I know it's normally on the markers race, the Taylor Mile, but I think tonight these 2 horses, particularly Sky Major and a Hoka Punter, they have the opportunity to slingshot them late.
That is exactly the reason why I've got them in my top 3. A Hoka Punter on top and this bloke in my top 3, because I think there is so much speed in the race and I think the gaps will open. It may set it up for something that's coming back in the field. Just when you talk to Barry Purdon, I alluded a little bit of confidence about Sky Major tonight. He never says too much, Barry, but what he did say is, I've got him pretty well right. For me, that's good enough.
He basically said he's bang on.
Yeah.
And he knows he needs to be, Craig, because it's imperative the next 2 weeks for this horse to have the opportunity to be the first to 3 jewels.
I'll put it to you, when he went to Australia, he had 1 run where he missed away and 1 trial, and he won the Chariots of Fire. He's had 1 trial last week leading into tonight. I think he's a very clean-winded horse. I don't think he needs a lot of work. Had this been 2,700 metres of the Messenger into a Taylor Mile, I wouldn't like him, Greg. But a mile or 1,700 into a Messenger, I think it's ideal.
That is the 6 Sky Major, the 8 in the book. One of the rising stars in New Zealand harness racing. His name is Dalton Bromack. Of course, trained by Brendan Hill, who part owns with Noel Bowden, his good mate. He's close to 100,000, but remove that from the scenario here of a couple we've just talked about. He's won 10 from 15. His performance last time when beating Madiba Magic was, as you would expect from a horse of this quality. What is going to be extremely difficult for him, Craig, is he's got the outside of the front row. We saw him here win in national record time in brilliant fashion over the Christmas racing period. How's he going to win this race tonight?
A war. Simple as that. They have to go very hard, and he has to get round them at stage to win this race. I am the biggest fan of this horse going round, Greg. I would just about hit up the Dalton Bromack fan club, because I think he's a horse that in 6 months' time we could see at New Zealand Cup time and be competitive against the really good ones. Now, I just had a quick talk to Brendan Hill and Noel Bowden. I said, what's the confidence like? And they said, how can you be that confident? We've won 100,000 against horses here that have won 5 times that amount. But I think they believe they've got the right horse that's in the right zone on the right day. They've got the right driver. If you've got to play a patient game, I think he'll go back. I think he'll rely on a lot of speed. Has he got the ability to get over the top of them? Absolutely.
That is Dalton Bromack, the Major and Art 4-year-old. There's a Hoka Punter. He's won the 15 from 26. Of course, he was the Northern Derby winner here at 3. He's had his injury problems, but Tony Herlihy has done a marvellous job to get this really good pacer back to his best form. He was disappointing in the Easter Cup. He galloped away, nowhere near as badly as Terrata Love or to a lesser extent Chris and Me. But his prior win, where they basically handed it to him on a plate, was an indication of how good he can be, and his overall form, including the 3rd in the Auckland Cup, suggests that he has to be right amongst them.
Well, you take away that one bad run in the Easter Cup, Greg, and his form's faultless coming into this campaign. I mean, leading into going down south, the pre-race prior to the Easter Cup, he won and beat Dalton Bromack there in a short sit and sprint race. His placing in the Auckland Cup was outstanding. He has been the best back runner. He opened at $9, and to be honest, Greg, I backed him at that because I thought that was way overs. He is now into roundabout where I thought he'd be at 6-1. He's going to need luck. I think he's got the right driver aboard. I think it is the right horse to win this race if they go hard. He's a great stayer.
Massini, we had a good chat about this horse, of course, racing in the green Harness Jewels colours. So the first time we've seen these, of course, invited to the Harness Jewels by Harness Racing New Zealand. Close to $300,000 in the bank. He races with the low head carriage. He's quite a cool racehorse, isn't he? People warm to him, as we saw at Cup Time.
We showed him on the box set on Wednesday night where he won at Cup Time, Greg, and what did Michael say? He's the closest thing to a yak. I don't know if he's a yak, but he's got a very low head carriage, and he also races a bit like Speeding Spur, where he gets his neck right out and he tries really hard. He's not the quickest horse in the race, but he's one of the most honest horses in the race, and I think Dexter has no reservations that the only way he can win this race is to bat off the gate as hard as he can and hopefully trail the right one.
Do you believe that can happen?
Not on his gate speed in Australia, but gate speed in Australia versus gate speed in New Zealand is two different animals.
All right, that is Massini. He is currently the 5th favourite. A sire. Who would have thought that in this race, the horse that finished 3rd in the Chariots of Fire, of course, he won the Sale Series final here at Alexandra Park. He's a brilliant racehorse, and this is the first leg of the final quaddie, by the way. Would be as long as what he is, but his performances, well, Forbury Park, he had no mathematical chance of winning that race off the markers, but he still went very well, and Mark Purdon alluded to that when we spoke to him earlier on. He still rated him a chance in this.
Yeah, I think he's a horse that is drawn out enough with horses inside him with a lot of speed that I think he'll be the first horse to the death. Now, can he win the race from sitting in the breeze? I suggest he probably can't. He's been in good form. His form in Australia leading into here tonight, Greg, was impeccable, including that race behind Sky Major and the Chariots of Fire. I think he's at the right quote of around $16.
Well, you think he's at the right quote. Then what about Tiger Tara? This is a horse that, of course, raced in the New Zealand Cup, was not disgraced in it by any stretch, finishing in 6th position. And tonight he comes to the venue where he won the Northern Derby at 3, and he's as long as $19.
Well, it's probably a reflection of the field that, and it's remiss of us not to talk about him because he's been in great form. He blew me away by crossing Chris and me to lead 2 starts ago from barrier 7. Now, we're not talking about him leading from 7 tonight because it is only 1,700 metres and there's some quick ones inside him. But what do you do? What are you, Gerard O'Reilly? Do you go back and hope that you get a drag into the race, or you just go forward? I suggest they'll probably go back this week, and from that draw, that's why he's at $19.
All right, how do we invest in this race?
Well, mate, I think the value's gone around a Hoka punter each way at $6. I do think that Border Control's a great winning chance, and probably the best value outside the top 2, Mossdale Connor at $5 a place.
All right, up to Aaron White, the 30th running of the Waste Management Taylor Mile. What an exceptional field we have ahead of us here. Aaron White, your thoughts in top 4?
To Border Control for me. I'll put him on top. Very good in the Easter Cup when runner-up Mark Purdon. Over the 6 Sky Major, brilliant in the Chariots of Fire across in Sydney when last produced. 8 Dalton Bromack, he's going to have to do it tough from there, but we know he's the real up-and-comer. 1 Massini in the invited Australian Jewels colours, and I did make Mossdale Connor my long shot tonight. I just thought from barrier 3 could posse up in a nice spot if there is a war on. He's the sort of horse that could get over the top of them. Mossdale Connor. 4, 6, 8 and 1. It's been a great race for many, many years. Let's go back to 1998, Greg. Certain Mare won that. She's left a few good ones.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Too bad. Yeah, I think she went about 53.5 as well, which was, then an unbelievable time. It still rates right up there. But even in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, Auckland Reactor, Terror to Love, Chris and Me, these are household names.
Name and banner, El Sue. I mean, it is the who's who of harness racing win this race. Let's see what happens in the next 2 minutes over the 1,700 metres at Alexandra Park. It is our feature race, the Waste Management Taylor Mile. Favourite will start from barrier 4 in the blue colours, Border Control. Here's Aaron White.
Thank you, Craig. We stand by for what is going to be a very good Group 1. Waste Management Taylor Mile under the ribbon of light at Alexandra Park. We're 100 away from a start. What a classy lineup. Into the back they go. Green light. And the Waste Management Taylor Mile underway. Mossdale, Connor and Lancewood Lizzie first two out. Massini's going to be eased from the inside. Getting across from the outside, Isaiah in the Jules colours. He's trying to get down one, then beyond the silence. A Hoka punter back on the marker line. They're followed by Border Control. Dalton Bromack caught three wide around the showgrounds turn first time. Back in the field then to Sky Major. No Doctor Needed. Tiger Tara the last couple. Mossdale, Connor and the Magic Man. Morris McKendry into the home straight. 5.5 off the gate in the opening quarter and 28. Coming forward is Dalton Bromack to sit parked and Lancewood Lizzie DJB in the trail with Border Control coming forward three wide. Isaiah 1-1. Now Sky Major three wide with cover onto the stables corner there. One and only time. Massini in the invited Australian Jules colours. Three back on the inside. Then came beyond the silence Tiger Tara. A Hoka punter and No Doctor Needed. Out to the 800 metres they go. Waste Management Group 1, Taylor Mile, 28-9 the second quarter. Mossdale Connor leads from Border Control and Sky Major three wide on these. Lancewood Lizzie, perfect run in the trail. Dalton Bromack now 1-1. Tiger Tara three wide with cover for Gerard O'Reilly. Massini three back on the inside. Then Isaiah, a Hoka punter, No Doctor Needed. And back last beyond the silence. 4.50 left to go on the Taylor Mile. And the third quarter in 27.4. Mossdale, Connor, Border Control. Sky Major out three. Back on the inside, Lancewood Lizzie, Dalton Bromack, Tiger Tara, and a Hoka punter. Mossdale, Connor sprints off the corner, put a length and a half into Border Control. Then Sky Major, Mossdale, Connor at the 100. In the Waste Management Taylor Mile, the Magic Man, Morris McKendry at his brilliant best, and Mossdale, Connor gets the Taylor Mile. New Zealand record, 1:58, beating out Border Control, a Hoka punter. They were followed Tiger Tara back on the inside, then to Isaiah finishing it off well. Then No Doctor Needed, Dalton Bromack, Sky Major, Massini, Lancewood Lizzie, and back last beyond the silence, 28 was the final quarter. The Magic Man, Morris McKendry, beautiful front running drive for Greg and Nina Hope. Got off the arm, got the lead. The son of Better's Delight. Third victory for Betters on the program. And they get a big Group 1 with the Taylor Mile and national record time, 1:58. They trim up the race record by 2 seconds, about 1.7 off the overall time. Home for second, good run, Border Control, a Hoka punter charging home down the outside. Group 1, Waste Management, Taylor Mile, it didn't let us down. Mossdale, Connor, Morris McKendry, too good.
Okay. Official placings in race 8, the Group 1 Waste Management Taylor Mile. 349,758. 349,758. Horse 3, Mossdale Connor, paced the 1700 metres in a New Zealand record of 1:58.11. It's a mile rate of 1:51.8. So those times again sensational. 1:58.11, a mile rate of 1:51.8. Last 855.4, the 428. The margins are length, 3/4 of a length, 1 length. 349,758, race 8, the Group 1 Waste Management Taylor Mile.
McKendry, third time you've been able to win this Taylor Mile, and on this horse, your first race day drive, not a bad time to be getting on.
No, well, I was pretty lucky. Ricky had another drive, so yeah, I drove him at the trials and Greg left me on, so it was very good.
Gave you a real nice feel last week. He's got terrific gate speed, so from the barrier you were likely to find the front, but running those speeds up front, it's very difficult to hold on, Morris, but he really has done it strongly, hasn't he?
Oh, he has. He's Greg, he said he's a fast horse, and just the way he went on the weekend, I thought he wasn't buggered at the finish, and they went 52, so yeah, it was a good run. Yeah.
With the speed he was running, Morris, were you surprised he was able to pinch a couple of lengths around that final bend, or was he just travelling that well that he did it under his own steam?
No, he was sort of just bludgeoning along, and I always knew I had a wee bit more left, So, yeah, no, he's a good horse, yeah.
All right, it's been a good race to you. Third success in it. Congratulations once again.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
Greg O'Connor with winning driver Morris McKendry, the New Zealand Trotting Hall of Fame sponsored reinsman. One in the 3,000 club as well. And the Magic Man with a Magic Man special in the 2015 edition of the Group 1 Waste Management Taylor Mile. Mossdale Connor by Better's Delight out of Mossdale Cara. Third victory on the program tonight for Super Sire Better's Delight. He's a 5-year-old bay gelding. And raced by breeder A.G. Affleck. Greg and Nina Hope prepared at Woodend Beach, and Morris McKendry. Congratulations to the team. 4 Border Control, Better's Delight, Contrapan, a 5-year-old bay gelding for second, P.I. and G.J. Kennard, Bloodstock Limited, P.J. and Mrs. M.C. Crichton, G.R. Douglas and K.J. Risley, the owners. Mark Purden, Natalie Rasmussen, trained at Rolleston, and Mark Purden. And Ninahoka punter, Better's Delight Bay, 5-year-old Entire out of Millwood, Minnesota. Mrs. K. Carville, A.G. Herlihy and S.W. Waters, the owners. Tony Herlihy, the trainer-driver, out of Papakura. Mossdale Connor, number 3 at $20 even and $4.10, 20 and 4.10. 4 Border Control at $1.60, 1.60. Ninahoka punter $2 even, $2. Quinella $47.50, $47.50. Trifecta $951.10, $951.10. First 4. $6,378.10, $6,378.10, $829 jackpot through to the Anzac Trotters Cup. 249.22 live units remaining in pick 6. Group 1 Waste Management Taylor Mile. It's time for the presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's head down to Michael Guerin. Michael, you've seen more of these than me. That was one of the best.
Thank you, Aaron. The fastest time ever for a sprint distance outside of the mile in New Zealand. So an outstanding mile rate by Mossdale Connor. And well done to the Hopes who have come up here from the South Island. They trained in Canterbury. Just 2 years ago, they trained their first ever Group 1 winner. Now they've trained the winner of one of the great races in the country. I'd like to welcome forward, being an auspicious race, the President of the Auckland Trotting Club, Mr. Kerry Hoggard, to assist in the presentation.
Thank you, Michael. And the Auckland Trotting Club's proud to have staged this event this evening. And I think having assembled one of the best fields I've ever seen for the Taylor Mile, which is probably the premier sprint race on the card of the Auckland Trotting Club. I particularly want to thank Waste Management for their sponsorship, and at this point congratulate the owners for what was an amazing race. I looked at the card before the race started. I saw Can Upset, it was written, and certainly I think for a number of people that's exactly what the horse did today in splendid fashion. I'd like to invite Waste Management to come forward and make the presentation to the owners of the horse. Thank you.
From Waste Management, we've been involved with Alexandra Park for many years, and it's an absolute pleasure to be involved and have the opportunity to present the trophy. Thank you.
Mr. President, fellow harness racing enthusiasts, what a great thrill to win a cup in a race like this. I'd like to thank Waste Management for sponsoring the race, and a special thanks to Greg and Nina Hope. They've trained our horses for quite a while and they're lovely people to work with. And a special thanks to Maurice McKendry, the first time he's driven a horse for us. He won a race like this. Thanks very much.
So some pretty happy southern owners there of Mossdale Connor. The horses who have won the Taylor Mile have so often gone on to be great horses. We wish them luck here next week for the Messenger Championship, for the Jewels and for his career ahead. And once again, congratulations to Greg and Nina Hope, who have established themselves now as premier trainers after winning a Jewels race last year and of course a Breeders' Crown the year before. One more Group 1 to go here, and it is harness racing's newest millionaire, Stent, who is favourite for the next on the card, the Anzac Cup, shortly here at Alexandra Park.
New digs in the central districts. Elizabeth, we've got one to go here, and it's race number 12, and it's the Class 4s again, and we're underway at 9:37.
Thanks very much for that, Mark, and it looks like a pretty even market there in the last. Number 4, Follow Fame. She's led them throughout today for Marcy Flupp. Well done to her. 4-5-7-6 there in race number 11. That result will be all official very shortly. Up next, we're back at Cranbourne for the second meeting, code 19. Number 9, Sammy Kosher was the favourite, 241.20 final field, 281.20 on the tote. Lightly tried, is only having start number 4 today, but a good run for second when fresh up last starter behind Prickly Affair. Was only just beaten that day. Terry Bailey's got 9 to beat 11, 10 and 5. Didn't mind 11, Curious Lady, 460 on final field. Finished third last starter behind Social Media and was held up vital stages that day. We'll join the team on track there at Cranbourne.
In Once Were Wild for the Hayes Dabinick team, so good money the 5 note, that 650 back to 550. Of the others, Camuso's 28 to 26, our Elliott 41 hasn't budged. Samakoso 225, skinny enough. Now out to 270. Wonder if that'll entice some punters. Tempt Me, 5 out to 550, back to $5 through the same race, of course. Curious Ladies on the drift, 460 out to 7. And Officer Hooks, for you Police Academy fans, 80 to 100 to 1.
All right, they've just arrived behind the gates for race 2 here tonight. You've still got a couple of minutes until they jump. And Samakosho, the short-priced favourite, out to $2.80 though on track, open $2.25, but solid on the tote at $2.50 and firming there as we go to Terry.
Thanks, Joe. These runners will move in shortly. Samakosho was obvious in that race at Bendigo that he was unlucky, but it was obvious that Tempt Me was very one pace, because Tempt Me was in front of him, and then he got shunted wide on the bend. Samaka Show came through in the centre. Samaka Show turn of foot finished off. Tempt Me no turn of foot, just kept grinding. He's a bit of a big half sway back too as he went down to the gate, so he'll relish getting out to more ground and a bigger track for sure. But he looked very well, as Joe mentioned. Samaka Show from that alley, there is a chance he might go forward. He went forward his first run. He bounced fast and was right on the speed in the first two at William Hill Park at his first run last preparation. Curious Lady, whom we tipped here, has a good chance to make the 4 up last meeting. She was going to the 1400 from the 1000 off the Pakenham run, and she had the wide gate and she went right back. Well, tonight they're going to ride her forward from gate number 1, so that'll see her get a box seat run here, you would imagine. Infantry jumped out well. He was livened up in his jump out and led all the way to do a pretty good job. And Here's Your Hat has some ability as well. Infantry's actually in a point, but I'd be thinking if Samaka Show's on song and has any luck, he should win. He's at $2.80 on track, and at the moment on the tote $2.50. Samaka Show went through the Vobis Gold sales, which come up again on Sunday after the big, just under $1 million, over $900,000 in prize money at Caulfield for a huge program tomorrow, a monster program to complement the Sydney meeting. And he was passed in, Samaka Show, for I think it was a very cheap price, as most of them are, $12,000. And he runs the favourite here at $2.50, $5.50 for Tempt Me, $5.90 for number 5 Infantry, and number 11 Curious Lady also given a chance at $5.90. Here's Your Hat at $8.50. Samaka Show to move in, so it'll be interesting to see what tactics they employ here. He has enough speed to go forward. He may go back. We'll soon find out. Already, race 2, the Procon developments. They're off. Samaka Show and Kamuso wide out, both away quickly. Speed towards the inside. Tempt Me began well, not as fast as Officer Hooks, who's going to burrow through. He'll lead Tempt Me and Infantry going up 3 wide. And the favourite Samaka Show's trapped out 4 deep. So Maloney is looking to go forward and try and get outside the leader. But they keep kicking up inside of him. A length away on the fence, Coronation Trouble. They were followed by Al Elliott. Here's Your Hat, who got into a bit of strife there and lost ground. Curious Lady went past him from Camuso, and 3 or 4 lengths away at the start of the field, Suspira. So Samaka Show finally got outside of the leader, and that is Officer Hook, 750 out. 2.5 lengths away is Infantry. Coronation Trouble on the fence. 2 to Tempt Me, and off the track going forward then is Our Elliott wide. They were followed on the rail by Curious Lady. Camuso making up ground, but still a fair way back. Here's Your Hat on the fence, second last, and 2 to Suspira. The leader is Officer Hooks. Staring it down is Samaka Show, and he's going the better Samaka Show. He takes the lead now. Tempt Me coming around. Coronation Trouble, and the big boy starting to put the big bounds in, and further back Curious Lady as they turn, and running on wide out is Our Elliott. Samaka Show zip clear at the top of the straight. Tempt Me 2 lengths away. Coronation Trouble battling away, but Samaka Show's going brilliantly at the 100. He's 2 lengths in front. The big boy Tempt Me can make no inroads from Coronation Trouble. Samaka Show's in a league of his own with the ears up. He has a soft kill. Wins by 3 lengths to Tempt Me, and third Coronation Trouble. Curious Lady was next. They were followed by Suspira Infantry. Wide out on the track was Our Elliott. Camuso well back with Here's Your Hat, and the early leader Officer Hooks with the tail enders.
Effortless win there by the favourite Samaka Show, racing up on the speed. Nice performance by Nicky Burke's big horse Tempt Me, finding the line there to finish second, and Coronation Trouble your third place getter, 9, 10 and 4. So another favourite home here at Cranbourne in easy style.
Yeah, indeed. I think the most noteworthy point out of this is the trifecta all came through the same race at Bendigo. Samaka Show should have won it. It's not a maiden, shouldn't have been a maiden, isn't any longer. Impressed, sat handy at a side 100 to 1 chance, was bolting and darted away like an above average horse. Good win, just as the previous win. I think has a future. Tempt Me came wide and couldn't match the turn of speed of Samaka Show, but was sound all the way to the line, and obviously will get ground. And Coronation Trouble didn't have much luck in that Bendigo race as well. Has gone between them and run well. It'll get third, and they had a little bit of a margin on Curious Lady into fourth, but winner was dominant. Second and third sound, gap back to fourth, who again had a gap back to fifth. I think that means that form will stand up out of the race. 9, 10, 4, 11 confirmed. 3.5 by a length. 126.63. Joe.
Strong performance tonight.
Impressive win there by the favourite number 9, Samaka Show. Way too good there in race number 2 at Cranbourne. Right now we're taking you back to Alexandra Park, and Greg O'Connor not too far away now from the next of your Group 1 features.
Yeah, pretty amazing night here, Liz, isn't it? It was the race hyped up to be the best of the night, and Craig Thompson, it did deliver in so many ways, and an unbelievable time. And Mossdale O'Connor, so often the bridesmaid, so often following the horses that bring him into the race. He did it all himself tonight, and he was brilliant.
Oh, he was fantastic, Greg. It was the dash for cash. It simply was, because they've smashed New Zealand records here. We're going to find out whether it's the fastest mile at Alexandra Park. We believe it is. Tremendous run. And he did to do it in front. He got looked at the entire race by multiple horses. It lived up to the expectation that we believed it would do. So many times we come to Alexandra Park and we think, God, let's hope this race has some dynamics to it. We saw that tonight right from the start, and to be fair, Greg, every horse had its chance in that race.
Yeah, they absolutely did. His last mile was what, 151?
151.8.
Yeah, well, the record here over a mile was back when the Taylor Mile was a mile. Of course, that was, 53.5. I think Alert Motoring won the same race in about 54.1. So that gives you an indication of just how well this horse has gone tonight.
When you're talking about New Zealand records, when you break them, it's usually by 2 tenths, 3 tenths. You don't break them by 2 seconds. Quite an unbelievable performance, but it just shows you the depth of that field. I'm sure we'll analyse it more in depth on Wednesday night.
Yep, we certainly will. 8:30 box seat, be well worth tuning in for. Anzac Trotters Cup. Okay, the race hasn't been around as long as some, but already we've seen a winner in Stent 2 years ago. I Can Do's It was the inaugural winner in 2012, and Super Bowl cheerleader Zach Park last year was able to hold them off. Really good race once again, but he's in such dynamic form, Stent, that he deserves to be a very warm favourite.
Absolutely. He's $1.40, Greg, and they're taking huge bets on him. I'll allude to that a little bit later on, but he deserves to be favourite. He's got the right draw. He's got gate speed. Flying Eyes is inside him. That's probably about the only one that he may have to get across early on. But, gee, have a look at him. Man, he looks good, Greg, tonight. I watched him go through the bird cage here. He had a shine on his coat. We saw him at Addington be very towy. He's a little bit like that again tonight, which is a good thing.
He is, and Colin De Philippi, well, he knows him so well. He knows how to settle him. Of course, he had the issues in the Trotting Championship with the couple of false starts, and he was still able to get him to relax enough in the run to explode and be way too good for them. Beating Master Lavros, he's his arch rival. He's the second favourite again. Of course, Stent's won 11 from 13 this campaign, and he's won the 28 from 58, now in the Millionaires Club. Spoke to Mark Jones earlier as you get the result there from Cranbourne, meeting 19 race 2, 19, 4 and 11. I said, how do you sum up this race? He said, look, I'm just going to have to let him run off the gate. He can be very touchy, as we know. The best thing he can do is let him do his own thing. I'm not saying that he'll do anything wrong, but we know he has the potential to. Mark felt that he's just going to let him do what he wants to do, and if that unfolds and he finds the markers in front of Stent, then it's race on.
Well, I think what he's got to do is use his draw. He's drawn inside Stent. He can't win from coming back in the field. We've seen Master Lavros be at his best when he's on the pace or in front. I think if he can get across Flying Isa, and it is a big if, and hold Stent to the first bend, well, he's right in this race, Greg. His workout here on Saturday, we've got to talk about that, was very, very good.
Yeah, it was. Flying Isa clearly has terrific gate speed. One over the moon's not out of this. I know his odds will suggest he is, but he's put the blinds on him tonight. Yes, it's still a big step from him to win at free-for-all company, but I just sense from Paul Nairn that he thinks he's not far off it.
Yeah, for me, when he rushes out of the gate, that's when he puts everything into his effort.
Vulnerable.
That's when he's vulnerable. That's when he can do things wrong. And that's what I'm worried about, because I'd like to see him get round in one piece tonight safely and running on strongly, more than having, say, a gutbuster early on and then leaving it on the track. I don't think I'd want to see him gallop in consecutive starts.
Multiple Group 1 winner now, Shimon we're looking at. This one trained by Kevin Townley, of course. A winner 3 starts back. That was a Group 1 heat of the Great Southern Star. He was third and a good one in the Trotting Championship. He's won over 400,000 now. You'd love to own him. He's always competitive, regardless of the quality of race he's in. He's won the 15 from 53.
Well, he's probably just the bridesmaid all the time. And when I say the bridesmaid, not that he runs second all the time, but we never talk about him because there's always Stent in the race. He's one of those horses that would have won an awful lot more money had he not raced Stent in Australia and New Zealand in probably the last 6 months. He was luckless in the Great Southern Star. His run last start at Addington had a lot of merit when he ran third, Greg. He was running on again. He's one of those horses that you know when you're taking your first four, he's the first one you put in because he's always thereabouts, Shimon. Of course, good enough to win a Jules and good enough to place at this meeting last year.
Yeah, absolutely, Shimon. Very close in the Rowe Cup, wins second in behind Master Lavros. Alleyway, the 9 in the book. Here's a progressive horse. 6th in the Trotting Championship, very good. Charged home and did the same behind Majestic Time last time, beaten a short margin. I had a good chat to Colin DeFilippi about this horse today, and he knows him well. He stays at his place when he comes up. He said, look, I don't know that he can win a race like this, but look for him if he draws the front line in the Rowe Cup. He's a very good beginner. He said he believes he's pretty close to being amongst it in the top line.
He's just improved that much in the last 6 months. You look at Alleyway and you think, well, he's been around a long time, but he's only a 6-year-old now, and he's just progressed and progressed. I like the way he's been racing from Southland into the Canterbury region. He's stepping up every time. Barrier draw behind Dr. Hook will do him no favours tonight. Dr. Hook will get crossed off the gate. He's going to need a lot of luck from there, probably 3-4 back on the fence at best. He's a first 4 chance if he can clear the pocket.
What about the head-to-head there between Shimon and King Denny? And let's talk more about King Denny here. Outstanding 3-year-old winner of 3 Group 1s, as we know, at that age, the both derbies and the Jules. His performances this season have been good. His first up go against the absolute best was last time when 4th in the Trotting Championship. He's drawn in an awkward position here.
Yep.
I believe Mark Purdon will probably drive him for luck tonight.
I believe he will too, Greg, because there's so much gate speed inside him. He is stepping up to the big boys tonight for the second time. His first up run was good when running 4th. He has a good record at Alexandra Park, 2 times here for a win and a placing, so right-handed's not a problem. I just wonder where he's going to posse up early on. Flying Isa, which was on screen, just note there's a couple of things about this horse tonight. He will race in John Dickey's colours, not the McCarthy's colours. No sliding blinds on him tonight, removable deafness only. So a couple of gear changes through from the Stipes regarding Flying Isa.
All right, top 4?
For me, I thought Stenton top, clearly the one to beat. I thought Flying Isa, the best value at $3.30 a place. I expect him to lead or trail. From there, I thought you've got to put in the likes of Master Lavros and King Denny.
All right, there's a look at Springbank Sam and the master trainer Phil Williamson in the bike tonight. And Matthew, of course, driving Alleyway. There's the 8. We haven't talked about him. Prime Power. He was in wonderful form before coming to Addington Raceway. He was in the right spot in both races to pick up money. Shoeing change tonight. The heavier shoes have gone back on. The shoes that he wore when he was going so well around Christmas time. Todd believes he's training very well. He's in a power of pain out there. So how he gets into the race, well, there has to be a war and it's unlikely to unfold.
It's unlikely to unfold from barrier number 8. He's at $44, which you'll never see Prime Parrot again probably, but that's the depth of the field and the domination of one horse in this race. Stent can tell you through from the racing desk there is massive liability on Stent of $100,000. So good luck to those punters with those multis finishing on him. Here's a deserved favourite at 140 and 110. Let's head upstairs for our feature trot tonight. It is race.
Even the runners brushing up and behind the yellow bar arm for our feature trot tonight. Now the graded gallop in the score up, Idle Bones. About 5 or 6 lengths off the back of the yellow bar arm as the trotters work into the home straight. 2,200 metres, 2015. Anzac Trotting Cup. Green light, they're off. Master Lavros, Stent clear the arm nicely with 1 over to Moon and Flying Isa. King Denny will come forward. Shimon will end up in the first half a dozen as they work on to the Stables Corner first occasion. Alleyway on the inside of Our Dainty Lady. Back in the field, Kincasler, Dr. Hook didn't use barrier 1's gone back into the field with Springbank Sam, Idle Bones and Prime Power the last couple. 1,800 metres left to go and the big boys Valley. Last year's Rowe Cup winner, Master Lavros, leads by a length. King Denny up on the outside, 6 sits second. Has a play for the lead here, Mark down the back on the inside, 1 over to Moon, then Stent. Flying Eyes to the inside, a length off that Shimon, then Alleyway and Our Dainty Lady. Dr. Hook on the inside of Springbank Sam as King Denny does get the lead as they turn onto the showgrounds turn. Kincasler, Idle Bones, Prime Power back of the tail, 43 and 6. Very quick lead time for the Square Gators. King Denny, last season's Jules winner, leads by 3. Master Lavros, 1 over to Moon, 3 back on the inside. Stent, the winner of this race 2 years ago. Great Southern Star winner. He's gunning for 12 victories in his last 14 starts, and he sits park the favourite. Shimon in the 1-1, the national trot winner around Flying Isa. Our Dainty Lady on the outside of Alleyway, 29 and 7 the opening quarter. Springbank Sam with Dr. Hook well back with Kincasler, Idle Bones and Prime Power, 900 to go. Stables Corner, King Denny and Mark Purden. They lead by a length and a half in the trail. Master Lavros, Stent doing it tough out, parked around 1 over to Moon. In the 1-1, Shimon, Flying Ice to the inside. Then Our Dainty Lady, Alleyway. Springbank Sam, Dr. Hook, Kincasler, Idle Bones. And still last, Prime Power, 32 the second quarter. King Denny through the back. Leads by a length and a half. Stenty starting to rev up now on the outside of Master Lavros. Shimon getting a lovely drag into the race on the back of the favourite. 1 over to Moon, Davy Butt swinging on him. 3 back on the inside. Then Our Dainty Lady, Flying Ice, a Springbank Sam, Alleyway well back. Kincasler, Dr. Hook. And further away then to Idle Bones and Prime Power. Third quarter, 28 and 4. The 4-year-old King Denny. He's got the older horses chasing hard. 2 lengths Stent. Shimon around the outside. Master Lavros, 1 over to Moon and Our Dainty Lady. King Denny. Stent starts to open up. Shimon. Master Lavros passing lane. King Denny. Shimon. Between runners. Stent. He's coming through strongly. Stent. Shimon. They hit it. Shimon. Shimon will get the Anzac Trotting Cup. Over Stent goes down bravely, and then came Master Lavros, followed King Denny, 1 over to Moon. Kincasler running on. They were followed by Flying Ice, Springbank Sam. Further back in the field then was Idle Bones. They were followed in Alleyway, Prime Power, Dr. Hook, and Our Dainty Lady, 242.4. New national record, 28.5. Shimon loves this place when it comes to Group 1 racing. Runner-up in the Rowe Cup. Maybe a touch unlucky, a few might say, from last year. He won the national trot. Now he gets the Group 1 2015 Anzac Trotting Cup. Stents at Park. He's gone down bravely. Last year's Rowe Cup winner. He pokes through on the inside. Master Lavros, and didn't the 4-year-old King Denny give us a wee bit of a show in front there? The runner national record. Ooh, bring on the Rowe Cup, I say. What a race. Anzac Trotters Cup goes the way of Shimon.
Official placings, race 9, the Group 1 2015 Anzac Trotters Cup. 654-723. 654-723. Horse 6 Shimon trotted the 2200 metres from a mobile and a new New Zealand record of 242.48. A mile rate of 158.8. Last 856.9, the 428.5. The margins ahead, 1.5 lengths ahead. 654-723, race 9, the Group 1 2015 Anzac Trotters Cup.
Dexter Dunn, well, this super little racehorse, when you give him a run like that, he doesn't even need those to be competitive at this level, but when he got it tonight, he was very, very good.
He was, Greg. Obviously got a good trip. Speed was on, throughout the journey, which suits him. And, he just, when I come around, just turned for home there, he just, he showed a really good burst, but he maintained it the whole way down the straight, which is the main thing.
many times Stent's had his measure. Nice to get one up on him, I guess.
It's very hard to do, but it was good tonight to be able to do it. So, it's a good, it's a good even sort of crop of trotters, it seems like at the moment in their open class ranks, which makes good racing, and it's enjoyable to be out there competing against them.
All right, it's a race, of course, that leads into next week's Road Cup. We know how close this horse went to it in last year, both on and off the track. Going into it this year, he's a better racehorse, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a lot better than last year. Just probably tougher, He's his run last year was, it was a big effort for him being a 4-year-old, and he hopefully we can come back and do one better. But he's definitely a better racehorse. He went to Aussie, he won his heat of Great Southern Star, but had no luck in the final. And apart from that, he's just been racing super throughout the season.
A year of firsts for you: New Zealand Free for All, Miracle Mile, Easter Cup. Now a winning with this horse in the Anzac Cup, and of course a World Driving Championship. Probably doesn't get much better than that in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, it doesn't, Greg. It doesn't at all. But it helps when I'm get to sit behind the horse flesh. I do.
Yeah, congratulations to you, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
Greg O'Connor with winning driver Dexter Dunn, world champion driver, got the lovely sit in the 2015 Anzac Trotters Cup, and grabs another Group 1 victory here at Alexandra Park. Of course, our day meeting New Year's Eve took the national trot. Tonight, Under the Ribbon of Light takes the Anzac Trotters Cup. For owners Mrs. Emmy Townley and Miss H.M. Wall, Kevin Townley trained at Russley, Double D Dexter Dunn. Monarchy, Solar Fire, 5-year-old bay gelding, bred by the Moffats, SR and Mrs. B.E., along with the Bishops, W.J. and Mrs. H.M. Great win, career win 16 at start, 54 tonight. And that gets him very close to the $500,000 mark, does tonight's victory with Shimon. Second over 5, Stent, Dream Vacation, Belgalian, 6-year-old bay gelding, Gutsy in defeat, Colin and Julie De Philippi, the trainers for T.G. Casey, Colin De Philippi doing the driving. And 4, Master Lavros, Sundon, Lavra Noblesse, 6-year-old bay gelding for Kay Kotsikas, Mark Jones, the trainer and driver. The totes will see number 6 Shimon return $16.20 and $2.50, $16.20 and $2.50, 5 Stent at $1.20, $1.20, 4 Master Lavros $1.90, $1.90, Quinella $5.50, $5.50, Trifecta $126.90, $126.90. First 4, $935.70, $935.70. Double 3 and 6, $122.90, $122.90. 3 and 5 concession, $15.80, $15.80. 16.24. Live units remaining in pick 6, 2 legs remaining. Let's take you down to Michael Guerin for the last of our presentations this evening for the Group 1 2015 Anzac Trotters Cup. He's got 2 Group 1s here now, Michael. He'll be looking to go one better than he did last year in the Road Cup. Bring that race on, I say.
Should be a great race, shouldn't it, Aaron? This time here next week, the premier trotting race in the country. And Shimon remarkably has won 4 Group 1s inside the last year, chasing his 5th next week here at the park. Game performances by the 2nd and 3rd horses, they are both absolute superstars who have won at the highest level. So you are seeing trotting of the highest calibre. Once again, on behalf of the Auckland Trotting Club, Peter Smith will make the presentation to winning trainer Kevin Townley. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you, Michael. On behalf of the board, it gives me great pleasure to make the presentation to Shimon, the winner of the Anzac Trotters Mobile Cup Trot, which is a Group 1 race. When I was a kid and came to Alexandra Park, I used to watch the South Islanders take away all the spoils. And tonight they're doing it again. And Kevin, you've got a wonderful horse there. And I'm sure Mrs. Townley and Miss Wall are just, he's the pride of the South. He beat a wonderful field tonight too. As Michael says, you've been witness to some fabulous racing. Every field so strong, and for a horse to win in that field, he's a very, very high calibre. Without further ado, on behalf of the club, I'd like to make the presentation of the Cup. Kevin, congratulations.
Thank you, Peter.
I'd just like to thank the club very much and the sponsors, which are a very important part of our industry. Shimon's a great little horse, as everyone knows, and he takes his opportunity if it's there. And when you've got a world champion driver driving him, you get it more often than not. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin's been coming to Alexandra Park for 30 years, and his father before him, Doody, was successful here at Group 1 level. 2 races to go here on Taylor Mile Night. We do race once again next Friday night for Rowe Cup and Messenger Night. They are major races as well. If you'd like to attend, alexpark.co.nz has all your information, alexpark.co.nz. If you've been here tonight having a few drinks, well done. You probably deserve them. It's been a long week, I'm sure. No drinking driving, though. Of course, we're responsible hosts here at Alexandra Park. It's very important to us that you get home safely. Plenty of taxis behind the main grandstand from now till after the last race. The bar will stay open on the ground floor until at least midnight. You can leave your cars here. There is security, and come back and get them tomorrow morning. The cafe is open from 7 o'clock in the morning, and as always on Saturdays, there are workouts starting at 10:30. We trust you've enjoyed your night here at Alexandra Park. 2 races to go. We trust also that the punt has been successful, and we do race almost every Friday now for the remainder of the winter. Shortly, the horses for the penultimate make their way into the front parade ring, and good punting for the last 2 from the Auckland Trotting Club.
On 7 to beat 11, 1 and 2 as we join the team on track.
No, not really, I don't think. I'll keep it to myself.
Oh, okay. We'll go home and look up the team and work it out for ourselves. But great to see you here tonight, Brett, and I hope this mare can finally break through for you.
No worries. Thanks, Joe. Good on you.
Yeah, thanks, Joe, and thanks, Brett. Thanks for not a lot there, heading to Warrnambool, but there'll be a few cars on the way down there in the next few weeks, of course, as the big Warrnambool Carnival kicks in again for another year.
Yeah, it's been very cagey tonight, Brett, wasn't he?
I got a feeling he just forgot. He just, he's got 19 horses there. He can't remember which one was going where, so he gave you the steer.
Yeah. We'll look out for his runners around that time anyway. But for now, we're focused on this mare, Liquidator, which he saddles as the favourite. A little easy now on course. Gator 2.6 out to 3, as is Honey Bunch drifting. Sistine Star, reasonably solid though.
Yeah, but a late rally, isn't it, Liquidator? 320 back to 3. Now 290 as I finish that sentence. So there has been a rally of support for Liquidator, and I think Brett, in all seriousness, summed it up really well, that swap the runs with that winner Cypher to Geelong, and I think she wins the race. So similar to the runner earlier in the day, the winner of the previous, probably shouldn't qualify for a maiden, given you touch unlucky not to, to still be one. Money for Champagne Promise, that's not a surprise first up for this stable, and it was my top pick. As more money comes Liquidator into 280. With that money for Liquidator, it's now a clear favourite. A Sistine Star gets out to $3.80. So And they look the main players. It looks a maiden of two halves, doesn't it? Probably 4 or 5, and then the rest you're looking at 20 to 1 and longer.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're doing their prelims at the moment. We're still about 2 minutes off race time here, with Liquidator taking outright tote favouritism now at $3. The Brett Scott trained 5-year-old mare by Dan Bird. A couple by Dan Bird running here, including the horse you like, Champagne Promise. Gator having its first run for Darren Weir tonight.
Yeah, I'm what's the word? Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm happy to see. I wanted a better word than happy. I'm happy to see money for Champagne Promise. 7 into 6. We'll go with encouraged.
Okay.
I'm encouraged.
Very good. Well, we've seen some nice horses winning here so far tonight. Both race winners look to have a bit of promise and will go on.
Yeah, I agree. I thought they were 2 terrific wins. Certainly there was merit in Vinmeister, put the race away quickly, and the other one controlled the race on speed and then was able to quicken noticeably. And I like when there's gaps behind them in the in the field, Joe.
Okay, and the weather's held off for us too.
Yeah, we've been a bit lucky. We had a few issues with the lights, getting the lights on. They came up and running. Then we got scared with some rain clouds and they've disappeared. So things are panning out well.
All right, they're about to start loading for race 3. So let's now join Terry Bailey to bring them home.
So Liquidator goes off as the favourite. Been well tried, Joe. I thought Honey Bunch and Sistine Star would both give you a good run for your money here. I thought they were the 2 major chances. Liquidator, big chance, but too short to my eye. But very good chance in the race. Champagne Promise also looks to be a good chance. Comes back from a spell with the blinkers off, bit of a break. So they're about to move in. Blue Sky has jumped out okay. It's 11 to 12 on track. On the TAB, the favourite is number 2 at this stage of betting. Liquidator, firm at 290. Number 11, Sistine Star, 390. So a nice jump out to get ready for this. 7, Honey Bunch, run off its feet debut run, 620. 620 Champagne Promise, $10 Blue Sky. And then we go to number 4, Dancer Kuduro, $15. It's trialled and went moderate. So we're nearly set to go. In fact, I tell a lie, they haven't even fully moved in yet. Look like they were pretty close. Liquidator about to move in. My Sophia to come up. A first starter rider jumps out of the saddle. It's a $41 chance on track, My Sophia, for the running of the TW Plastering Handicap. Weather conditions holding up at the moment. It's a bit of wintertime weather we've got here this evening, but still a reasonably good crowd rolling in on track. Night racing has been very popular here in Victoria, and with Racing Victoria releasing new dates, there's going to be a bit more of it as well. Honey Bunch about to move in. She's drawn to get a nice trail here if she can jump and show a bit more speed. She was never on the bridle the other day when she resumed. They were sprinting and she was just outpaced. 1,000 metre and 1,200 metre races, generally a different tempo. Danza Kuduro's got the white and the green cap if you backed her. Sistine Star with the barrier rug going on. Her form breeds very well for a race of this nature. Number 11. She runs the second favourite, Liquidator. Not much like the other day at Geelong. Has been going along okay. And has been clearly the best back. They've put the blinkers on, Brett Scott has, and Michael Walker in pursuit of a double. Favourites home in the first 2 races. Pretty easy stuff, both of them. Samaka Show in particular. Now Fletchingly and Liquidator to move in with Danza Kuduro. And we're nearly set. Liquidator on the tote at the moment, 260 and 260 with the bookmakers as well. Sistine Star, $3.80, $6.90 for Honey Bunch, $6.70 Champagne Promise. Just about set. Liquidator to move in. Michael Walker very complimentary of the track conditions here with the rail just out 3 metres, saying the track was in great order. And now they're set. Third of the evening. Starters up, lights on. Signal, they're off. Liquidator fast out of the gate. Trail of Destruction won the start, goes to the lead. Fast away in the early stages is Blue Sky. Liquidator caught wide as Champagne Promise went up to be third. Fletchingly fourth. Honey Bunch fifth. The rail and Liquidator easing. A length away Sistine Star. Then came My Sophia. And Danza Kuduro 2 lengths away last. Trail of Destruction with that burning effort out of the gate led the way. At the 800 metres mark, a half in front of the debutante Blue Sky. Champagne Promise straight up 3 deep and third, and on the fence is Honey Bunch, and they were followed by Fletchingly in the centre. Liquidator is running in sixth position, but he looks to have cover 3 wide around Sistine Star. Then came well back My Sophia, and 2 lengths away Danza Kuduro. Before the bend, Trail of Destruction quickens down, Blue Sky a neck away. Wonder Champagne Promise and Liquidator surging up rapidly 4 wide. Honey Bunch stays to the inner. Sistine Star starting to make ground, 2.5 lengths away. In the running now, Trail of Destruction joined by Champagne Promise with Liquidator on the scene. Champagne Promise hits the lead from Liquidator. Sistine Star taking a while to warm up. Liquidator after Champagne Promise. Champagne Promise still in front. Liquidator lunging. Oh, couldn't be sure. Not sure. Liquidator or Champagne Promise. The judge can work that one out. Sistine Star ran third. Honey Bunch fourth. Then Fletchingly, Blue Sky, Dancer Kuduro, Trail of Destruction, and My Sophia. This is very tight.
That is very tight. Which way are you leaning here, Gator?
I don't know. I'm hoping it's the inside, but it won't be. It'll be the outside Liquidator, who has nailed it right on line. I'll show you the photo in a minute to prove it. That Liquidator, the heavily backed runner, gets into $2.60 on course, so they hammered it late, and she has bloused Champagne Promise, who's made a terrific return here. First run for Weary, 3 wide, no cover all the way, hits the lead and is nailed by one with a softer run. I guess it's a bit of poetic justice given Liquidator probably had the harder run last time and was defied.
Great finish there too, the third at Cranbourne, but it looks like number 2, Liquidator, has gone up right on the line. The 5-year-old mare by Dan Bird out of Trey Bell. Win number 1 at start number 5. Good finish there with 1, Champagne Promise, and then number 11, Sistine Star, fresh up today, has finished in third. 6 minutes out now from race number 10 at Alexandra Park, and Greg O'Connor, as we come back to you, pretty short favourite here in number 8, The Faithful.
Shortening favourite, Liz, no question there, because he got out to as long as about 320, maybe even 340. The weight of money would suggest that that's why he's into $2. Look, his performance last time was in the Derby behind Have Faith in Me. Often we see these 3-year-olds dropping back, Craig Thompson, and even from the widest barrier draw on the front row. For mine, he's clearly the horse to beat.
Oh, I think he is, Greg. I mean, his workout here on Saturday was very good. You saw that. He made ground solidly at the end of that trial. Barrier 8, we've seen the stablemate win the first from the same draw. It can be done. He's a lovely 3-year-old. There's just a length or 2 behind the very good ones. But in saying that, the likes of Prince of Pops and Little Rascal fall in the same category.
Yeah, they do. And Little Rascal has the aid of Barrier 1 here. So early speed, enough to hold. And, well, Prince of Pops will have a decent dig for the lead, though, won't he?
I think he'll get the cross. I think the gate speed, you're quite correct, will come from runners 1 and 4. Prince of Pops is he's a bit of a one-trick pony now. He needs to go forward in his races. He did that last start, even though it was 2,700 metres. He was round to the death. He put the pressure on down the back. He's got to be on the speed, this horse. I believe he races best that way, and I'm sure that's what Scott Phelan will do.
Runner number 3 there, Fiery Luster, and Jay Abernethy fought the Telfer Garlic team. Of course, Ivan Court still owns the son of Red River Hanover. For a horse that's won 3 races and had multiple placings, he gets into this race nicely, doesn't
he downgraded last start, Fiery Luster, and he went good at Cambridge. That was behind Better Spirits. He was 3 back on the fence, and he got out late, and he really got home nicely. Better suited to a longer trip, I feel, 2,700 metres, and maybe an easier field. That will come in upcoming weeks. He is a place chance in this race. I don't think he's a win chance.
Runner 7 in the book, She Don't Love Me, the colt by Better's Delight's got breeding, this horse, and got racetrack credentials as well. The winner of 4 of 14 now, and that workout from Saturday was very good win-winning.
It'll stack up, Greg. He led them up on Saturday. And
he beat Democrat Party and the Faithful, wasn't it?
So it's good form, isn't it? And Democrat Party ran on nicely tonight. So I think he is a horse that will just keep improving like most of the Better's Delights do. He's drawn out enough tonight that he'll probably have to go back from the gate when horses like Prince of Pops and Little Rascal go forward. He may be reliant on the Faithful making the first move. If that happens and he gets on the right train, he's right up to winning this.
Off the back row is Highview Freddie, stablemate J Dub here, beautifully bred, colt by McCardle out of Champagne Princess. Just won the 2 from 10, Alexandra Park record, couple of starts and yet to place.
Yeah, J Dub's okay. He's got barrier number 2. Dexter aboard. I thought he's an outside place chance here, Greg. He's at $11 and $4. his run at the workouts here the other day was okay without setting the world on fire, and his stablemate was in the same category, Highview Freddie. For me, I'd have J-Dub over the stablemate, and I think the tote reflects that.
All right, 6 points you need to be up the top of the Stonewall Stud Drivers' Challenge, and Mark Purdon and David Butcher are there, and of course David Butcher, he's not driving in the last and he's not driving in this, so there is potential for something to change here in that Drivers' Challenge. More about that as we build into the last, though. Okay, so how do we play this race here?
Oh, I mean, I agree with you on what you said earlier in the night. We talked about the Barry Purdon duo of Start Dreaming and the Faithful being good bets tonight. Haven't seen any reason for that to change going into this race with the Faithful. I put him on top to beat runner number 1, Little Rascal, because I think he's going to posse up in the trail at worst. From there, he's going to get a lovely run. Best each way chance if you're taking outside the favourite. The Faithful is number 1, Little Rascal. I put in She Don't Love Me for 3rd and Prince of Pops for 4th.
All right, let's get to Aaron White on what has been nothing short of a breathtaking harness racing night here tonight. The Group 1s have been exceptional. The Group 2 Speeding Spur won by such a short margin. It all leads into another stellar night of harness racing next Friday night here at the park.
Well, if you're a harness racing fan, you live in the North Island, anywhere around Auckland, you'll want to be getting one of those packages. They start from $40 per person, alexpark.co.nz. Get out here next Friday night. What a night. The Trotters, they turned it on for us. Of course, Shimoni looked to go one better in the Row Cup. Of course, they took it to the room last year with Master Lavros. They missed with that protest, and of course he's down to Stent here tonight, coming out of the 1-1. Yeah, great race there. The Phillies Classic, Arden's Choice, most impressive there, and the Taylor Mile, well, Mossdale Connor, you can write the stories about there. Coming through from Judge Graham McLennan there as well. All runners in the Taylor Mile under the previous national record. So there you go. All 11 horses under the previous national record in the Taylor Mile. In Nordic New Zealand Mobile, 8, 7, 1 and 4. Special for me, the Faithful, Zach Butcher, Barry Purdon. Barry looking for 3 on the program. 7, She Don't Love Me. He's going the right way. The Better's Delight Colt, Peter Ferguson. 1, Little Rascal. Gives Robert Dunn and Ian Dobson 3 good chances in the race. And 4, Prince of Pops, well in the mix on the back of his victory last week. Scotty Phelan. 8, 7, 1 and 4. Yeah, Greg. It's going to be a great night next week. Row Cup. We've got the messenger there as well. Get along to here at Alexandra Park. We've had a good crowd in tonight. I think the racing will be just as good, if not a touch better, because we know the Row Cup at 2 miles brings a lot of passion out of a lot of supporters of harness racing.
Yeah, it certainly does. One of the great races on the calendar. The race for $150,000 next Friday night. 3 Group 1s again, Trotting Derby, obviously the Row Cup and the Magnus Benroe Sires Stakes final. So one heck of a night, and the Magnus Benroe Northern Mears Classic as well. So
yeah, that's going to be a great race for the Mears. Racing tonight has been of top quality standard. Let's hope we get that again next Friday night. Through from the bookmakers as they line up behind the Mobile for the second last time tonight. Best back runners here, the Faithful, $4,000 and a $3,500 bet on it, and Little Rascal, $4,000 at $5.50 into $4 as we speak. We'll start second favourite. It is the second last tonight. Good luck if you're one of the 16.24 live in pick 6. Favourite will start from the outside of the front, the Faithful. Here's Aaron.
And the runners here in behind the yellow bar arm for the Nordic New Zealand Mobile pace over the 2,200 metres. Little Rascal and Barrier 1 comes up onto the yellow bar arm as they swing into the lane. Starter Frank Phelan looks over the field. Favourite the Faithful from the outside of the front. Green lights up. They're off. J-Dub out of Barrier 2's out nicely over Little Rascal. They're followed by Fiery Luster back on the inside. Highview Freddie. He'll settle down in 4th, make it 3rd. So the Green Army 1, 2 and 3 as they head on to the Stables Corner first occasion. They're followed by Prince of Pops and then Haston Bromack back on the inside. I'm a Jolly Wally. She Don't Love Me back second last, and the Faithful from his wide draw ease to the tail. 1,800 to run, and J-Dub Dexter Dunn, the Anzac Trotters Cup winning driver, leads away by 2. Little Rascal comes off its back now to come up, and it'll go and get the lead for John. 2 lengths away in the field then to Highview Freddie. Morris McKendry, he's 3 back on the inside. The Taylor Mile winning driver up on the outside. Fiery Luster has to do it tough parked, and Prince of Pops 1-1 for for Scotty Phelan. I'm a Jolly Wally on the inside, then Haston Bromac. She Don't Love Me caught 3 wide coming across the top. Around the showgrounds turn, Prince of Pops will come out in front of that. And still back last is the Faithful and 7 lengths off Little Rascal. Lead time in 44.9, so a comfortable lead as they come into the home straight. Little Rascal. Prince of Pops up to second and Park. She Don't Love Me comes forward out 3. Opening quarter 31 and 5 in the Nordic New Zealand Mobile Pace. J-Dub trailing. In the 1-1 is Fiery Luster, followed through by Haston Bromac. Back on the inside is Highview Freddy. Judge Bell and 1 to go. The Faithful being patiently handled by Zach on the Stables corner final time. I'm a Jolly Wally back last on the inside. Out they go, 8.50 left to go. Little Rascal, the son of Pan's Pacific Flight. He got the Group 1, of course, Pan's Pacific Flight with Arden's Choice as they work into the back, the second quarter and 29.1. She Don't Love Me sits a length away the outside. J-Dub in the trail, 1-1, Prince of Pops. Back on the inside, Highview Freddy. To its outside, Fiery Luster. I'm a Jolly Wally, Haston Bromac looking to take off now for Hurley. 500 left to go. He comes and who's on his back? The Faithful will get a lovely track into the race. They sweep across the showgrounds turn, final time. And 28.9 the quarter down the back. Little Rascal, She Don't Love Me. Prince of Pop springs out of the 1-1. She Don't Love Me's galloped here on the final corner. J-Dub on the inside, Haston Bromac. And here's the Faithful drawn right to the outside. Prince of Pops goes to Little Rascal. Here comes the Faithful. He starts to wind up. He's getting after Prince of Pops strongly. Prince of Pops with a kick. The Faithful comes. Prince of Pops, and he stays at the top of the charts. Prince of Pops will beat out the Faithful. Third over Little Rascal. They were followed Haston Bromac, Fiery Luster, Highview Freddy on the inside, then J-Dub. Further back in the field was I'm a Jolly Wally, and She Don't Love Me got unbalanced around the final corner. Gallop 242.9 home and 28.3. Prince of Pops, Scotty Phelan for the Telfer Garlic team. Got into the race at the right time. The Faithful had to make that one last run round the outside. He'll come up a half a neck short. Little Rascal third. Haston Bromac will be the fourth across a Nordic New Zealand Mobile Pace, and he'll top the charts again. Prince of Pops.
Official placings, race 10, the Nordic New Zealand Mobile Pace. 481-539. 481-539. Horse 4, Prince of Pops, paced the 2200 metres in 242.93. Mile rate of 159.1. Last 857.3. The 428.3. The margins ahead. 3/4 of a length, 1.5 lengths. 481-539, race 10, the Nordic New Zealand Mobile Pace.
Fanfare plays out. Prince of Pops gets the performance incentive bonus tonight. His 6th victory under the ribbon of light. His 6th overall victory at start 21. Comes back at the head of the field. And raced by Scotty Plant, WD Lightborn, and Brenda Gain. Congratulations to you. Change over 3-year-old Brown Gelding at a Slangy Var. Bred by Plant Racing Limited and WD Lightborn. Steve Telfer, Chris Garlick, trained at Papakura. And Scotty Phelan back at the head of the field. Norm Cherry down there with Nordic New Zealand, part of the victory celebrations with Auckland Trotting Club steward Roger Barnes. 8, the Faithful for second. Better's Delight running on Faith. The Brown 3-year-old gelding for the Auckland Trotting Club 2014 Syndicate. Barry Purdon trained at Clevedon. Zach Butcher. And One Little Rascal third. Pan's Pacific Flight of Vita Franco. Brown 3-year-old gelding raced by I.D. Dobson. Robert Dunn trained at Pukekohe. John Dunn. Prince of Pops. I'll have those totes through hopefully shortly. Not quite through at this stage. So a wee bit of a hold up on the result here, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as that does filter through, we will give it to you, that's for sure. Nice win, though, by Prince of Pops. That'll take us into the last. The Caduceus Club supports QMU Kids Carts for the Square Gators. So at this stage, no results on race number 10. It shouldn't be too far away from filtering through for us, so we'll be back as soon as that result does come through. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that result through now. Number 4, Prince of Pops at $9.60 and $2.10, $9.60 and $2.10. 8, The Faithful at $1.30, $1.30. And One Little Rascal, $1.30, $1.30. Quinella, $12.60, $12.60. Trifecta, $107.70, $107.70. And the first 4, $408 even, $408. Pick 6, one leg to go. And there are, as the results with trackside, here we go. Pick 6, 2.42. 2.42. Live units going into the final leg of Pick 6.
I suppose from a height point of view, it wasn't the most sought after race, but from a connections point of view, Group 1s at this age are always worth a fortune.
Absolutely, $120,000 race, and as we picked them up with a round left to go, things have changed here. We have Arden's Choice, who was the second favourite in the 1-1, and the favourite Northern Velocity is in the trail at the moment. What we hadn't seen prior to the race was she just started to over-race a little bit, Northern Velocity, and was starting to get the head around a little bit. They'd gone through the middle half pretty slowly here, Greg, and they started to speed up from the 600-metre mark. And at this stage, Arden's Choice, with the run that she got, was probably always the one to beat, because on a previous run she'd beaten Northern Velocity in the run home after coming off her back. She just got that ideal trip, and when we get to the home bend here, we'll see that the leader doesn't quite get the favourite to the passing lane. At that same stage, Mark Purden got going on his bike. and he got Arden's Choice up and running, and she was in front at the top of the lane, and that was the winning of the race.
Yeah, momentum at this stage is so important, and when you're going the speeds they are, you just see Northern Velocity throwing her head around a little bit there, popping out of the 1-1 mark. Purdon just getting balanced up enough here with Arden's Choice and the half to Better's Delight. Look at her let down here. Ears go back and whooshka, race over. Group 1 glory going to part owned by the Stiven family, and we heard Mark say some pretty nice things about Noreen. She would have been looking down.
Oh, absolutely. Would have been a great thrill for the family. A lot of people will say, hey, the favourite was unlucky. I don't think it would have mattered, Greg. This filly's won pretty easily.
And she is getting clearly better with racing. This was the race that everyone wanted to watch tonight, without doubt the My Sky race of the week. Here's Mossdale Connor in front, Dalton Bromack having a look, Sky Majors 3 wide with cover there, Border Control, who many thought would be the horse to beat in the fight too. This was just one heck of a contest, and arguably one of the best races we've seen this season at Alexandra Park.
I would say it's right up there, Greg. We've seen some great ones. I think the Auckland Cup was one of the best with a tight finish, but this race had drama from start to finish, and we did predict this would happen. Mossdale kind of fired off the gate. He's in front here, and he had multiple lookers at him from about the 1,000-metre mark. Outside him is Border Control. Sky Majors planted out there 3 wide. Lancewood Lizzie, who came off the gate at this stage, is just getting a little bit tired in the trail. Dalton Bromack's the 1-1. Tiger Tara 3 wide with cover, and on its back is a Hoka punter. So at the 400-metre mark, Mossdale kind of appeared to be travelling well, and Morris just starts to roll him along here at this point, and he got away on them. He pinched a break here, Greg, at the top of the straight, and that was the winning of the race.
Yeah, surprisingly. Look, he just found a length and a half there, and he is a difficult horse to drive. You've got to chase him along. We've seen him a few times in his races almost wait for the others. He was going that fast, and Morris had his mind on the job that he didn't have a chance to do that tonight.
I think when you go back and have a look at the race, there's one horse in here that ran on very nicely at the line. It finished back in the field, and that was Massini. Was last turning for home in the green colours of the Australian Jewels leader. One to watch for the Messenger next week.
Third of our Group 1s, the key lead-up race to next week's Can-Am Road Cup. It was the Anzac Cup, the 4th running of it. We've missed a bit here, though. Master Lavros has come off the gate. He's got the lead. King Denny's had a mighty old dig for it. Ended up getting there, and that set up a national record, yes, by 4 seconds, Craig Thompson.
Amazing. As I said tonight, they've flown. That last race, they ran their last mile, or the mile in 151.8. Tonight, they broke this record in the trot by nearly 4 seconds. This horse, King Denny, went massive tonight. He took on Master Lavros at around about the mile marker. They went for it. He grabbed the front, stent the favourites outside him, having a tough run. But look at Dexter in the gold colours, the 1-1. Never went round a horse until the top of the straight, and he sat on stent as long as he could, Greg O'Connor, and that was the winning of the race because the margin at the line was half a head.
Yeah, Colin De Filippi would have known what horse was right behind him, and of course Shimon, the one horse he probably didn't want there, he's been able to only get him late in the piece. He's fought on strongly, Stent.
Have a look at Master Lavros here, Greg. He just lost a length and a half off the back of King Denny here. He just didn't get round that bend that well, but I think what Mark Jones would be very happy was the way that he got going again in the straight.
Yeah, he said, look, Colin De Filippi just leant in around that bend. His horse was just leaning in over that, no fault of the driver. And he said it just cost him a wee bit, but he said, I loved his last 50 metres, and with a lean towards the Road Cup next week, where he is the defending champion, I think he's the horse that I want to be on at this stage.
I think it's an exciting contest next week. We've got obviously Stent coming out of the race. Shimon we've seen being good at that level and over that distance.
And close in the race last year.
Absolutely, and Master Lavros, the real one, stood up again tonight after going a great race at Eddington last start. So what it does do, it makes a little bit more of an even complexion on next week's contest.
It certainly does, Liz. 3 Group 1s tonight, 4 next week. So if tonight's any racing there's been anything to go by, I think we've got a little bit to look forward to in 7 days' time.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're in the area, well worth getting along, obviously, to Alexandra Park next Friday night. It's always such a good night out there on track. Still one more race to come from Alexandra Park, the last time to go at 10:27. Up next, we're back at Cranbourne Night Gallops for the 4th there. This one gets underway at 10:15. Terry Bailey's got 9 to beat 1, 2 and 3. Number 9, she brings home the favourite. 361.50, final field 361.50. On the tote. Fresh up today. When she last lined up, it was back on the 28th of November and scored impressively that day by nearly 3 lengths when the $1.40 favourite. We'll get on track now to the team at Cranbourne.
Slightly easy as well.
It's interesting, isn't it? The 3 previous races we've had are pretty much, it's been pretty obvious who the punters have landed on here. they are not being so decisive. There's a move for as many as 4 of them, as you mentioned. Even the Rafael Henrietta, 19 to 16, back to 17. So 5